First, we need to look at the Monokuma file. Boop boop. Dead! The victim is Nagito Kaneda. The body was discovered inside the warehouse near the Monokuma plushie factory. The estimated time of death is believed to be noon sharp?
Wait,
I'm gonna be saying something.
Right when the fire happened?
Huh?
Around the time the fire happened?
Yeah, I'm gonna be saying something regarding that because I think I have a theory. But anyway, for now.
Theory?
Well, let me get through the Monokuma file first. Not only is there a spear stabbed in his stomach, there are multiple stab wounds on each of his thighs. Furthermore, there is a laceration on his left arm and a knife impaled through his right hand. What a tragic situation. Just reading this is making me depressed.
Is there something wrong with this Monokuma file?
Again? But what's wrong with it?
It doesn't say what killed him.
Not only is there a spear stabbed in his stomach, there are multiple stab wounds on each of his thighs, laceration on his left arm, and a knife impaled through his right hand.
No sign of beatings. It's definitely weird. Well, I guess I'll find out if I look around. That's what the investigation is for.
Don't worry or form conclusions on your own. That makes me more worried than I should be.
We can discuss it later. Right now is our only chance to investigate. So we should investigate first. If we don't, there won't be anything for us to discuss.
Well, I guess you're right. Then, let's start with the area surrounding Nagito's body. I should start with the back of the warehouse. Since a curtain blocked most of the water, this area wasn't affected by the sprinklers that much. Thanks to that, I could properly investigate Nagito's body. I never thought I'd have to investigate Nagito's body. He probably didn't expect to end up like this either. I mean, he constantly went on like, kill me, and... Okay, so here's the thing that I saw before and thought was weird. There's like a thing at the end of the spear that makes it look like a
How about the wire-like thing?
Yeah, like a wire. I thought that if I could position right, I thought this up here was the other end of it, and then I realized it was the lamp. That said, my theory, and we'll see if it comes true, I feel like he was tied up and left here before, like, probably by someone while we were searching all the different islands, because that's where they would have had a chance. And then it was set up so that at noon, like, the spear would fall down and impale him. Or he died from inhaling the smoke of the fire. But,
I don't know.
Those are my guesses. I'm gonna wait for Ryan to get back.
You think he did it to himself?
I don't know. I don't know why he would, but I feel like if assuming it wasn't that, I think somebody could have come and done that, set this up during the time when we were all at separate islands, because we were all separate, and aside from the video, we never saw Nagito between then and now.
True enough.
Alright, now, I shall examine everything. I'll start with the Monokuma plushie because I'm really confused about this. Monokuma's dead! There's blood coming out of his stomach! Hey.
No response. He's dead, Jim. Just kidding, I'm not dead.
Is this one of the life-size plushies that were being produced at this factory?
If you're mistaking a plushie for me, then there's something wrong with you.
You're a stuffed animal, too.
Don't put oversized garbage there. So misleading.
What are you calling oversized garbage?
You.
Could this be one of Monokuma's tricks? Why'd he do it? Making a hole like he got stabbed and then going to the trouble of dirtying the hole with blood? Did he try to imitate Nagito's body or something?
I had nothing to do with that.
Huh?
He's probably lying. Seriously, you're always lying. You should just die like that plushie over there.
Jesus!
You seem more pissed than usual these days, Monami. What? You better watch what you say. If I feel like it, I can wipe you out easily, you know.
I won't give up in to your threats. I'll fight you until the very end. I'll definitely take back the seat of world supremacy from Monokuma.
What?
What?
Looks like those annoyances are gone.
That's confusing. Usually.
If it wasn't Monokuma's trick, then who did this? Could the killer have done this? If so, is this Nagito's blood? I have no idea how this connects to the incident. Monokuma plushie. Yeah, I am genuinely confused about the sheer existence of that. Alright, let's look at Nagito. I never expected Nagito to die like this. He was always spouting nonsense about hope and trying to confuse the hell out of us. But even so, dying like this is just too cruel. Also, he wasn't completely useless. There were times we were only able to reach the truth because of him. But everything good and bad about him is gone. We'll never be confused by him again. We'll never be saved by him again. No, now isn't the time to think about unnecessary things. I need to focus on the investigation right now. For now, I need to investigate everything about this body that catches my eye. There's a whole lot of that, so... Oh, so it's not gonna let me look at the cable. That's gonna be annoying. Alright. Sharp feet. Both of Nagito's legs are tied up. Each rope is tied to the pillars nearby. He wouldn't have been able to move at all. According to the Monokuma file, the wounds on his legs are all stab wounds. Does that mean the killer didn't just tie up Nagito, they also stabbed his legs? Why would the killer do something like that? At any rate, it's it's pretty sadistic. Now my voice is giving out. At any rate, it's pretty sadistic. The killer must have been holding a huge grudge toward him. Or they might have been torturing him. Torture? I mean, if they just wanted to kill him, they could have just stabbed him once to the chest, right? You disregard the spear in his chest. The other wounds were inflicted for reasons other than killing. Which means, the wounds all over Nagito's body were from the killer torturing him? If that's the case, what was the killer trying to make Nagito confess? Was it something that would have led to the traitor? Well, even if this was torture, there's no doubt that the killer must have held a deep grudge toward Nagito. Refused to let him die easily. I can totally understand a dark impulse like that. But even if they held a grudge against him, would they really have gone this far? What if it was Fuyuhiko who did it, and through the torture, that's how he found out where the bombs were?
That's a potential, yeah.
That said, I feel like he would... The bombs were, like, right next door. I feel like he would have found them first.
I feel like he would have figured out learned that they weren't bombs.
Okay, I looked at his legs. Next up, spear. A spear with a flashy ornament on it is impaled deeply into Nagito's stomach. Also, bet the spear came from inside the castle.
Yeah, it looks like it.
There's no way around it. That looks like the fatal wound. Oh my! Was this such a strange-looking spear, isn't it? The cord extends from the tip of the handle, and there's an iron weight attached to it. I see! You use the cord as a whip to capture the enemy, and deliver the final blow with the spear.
Is this your first time looking at this, too?
Of course not! This is the Spear of Gungnir, right?
You definitely just came up with that now.
By the way, I wanted to ask you, where did that spear come from? I feel like I saw it at Nezumi Castle. What? Nezumi Castle? I was designed to be afraid of mice, so I can't go in there. Damn you, mice! Damn you all to hell!
I honestly wonder if that's actually a thing with him, or if he's just fucking around.
First I've heard of it.
No, he said it earlier.
No, I mean past this game.
Oh. I mean, mice didn't exactly show up in the first game. I see. Even he doesn't know what's inside that castle. Well, more importantly, I need to focus on the investigation. The spear definitely catches my eye, but the weight on the end of the cord coming out of the handle. Looks like that part has blood on it too. But for some reason, this section of the cord doesn't have blood on it. It's about the size of a human fist. It's strange that this section of the cord doesn't have blood on it.
Because they were holding it.
Also, Chiaki mentioned this earlier, but apparently that spear came from Nezumi Castle. Might be better if I confirm that later. Spear of Gamir! Alright, that's the name we're taking.
That is
a
actual legendary spear.
Alright. Burnt rope. Oh, it's burnt, not cut. Nagito's right wrist is tied with rope, but it looks like the tip of that rope burned off. Could this be a result of the fire? That's weird. If the rope is burned off like this, why are Nagito's clothes completely unaffected by the fire when he was so close to the blaze?
We saw that it's definitely going in the ground there.
The knife is stabbed through Nagito's right hand. Did the killer do this? How did they do something so cruel? This knife, it must be from the military base. Military base? Now that you mention it, you're right. It looks like a survival knife.
By the way, it seems the wounds on his legs and left arm were caused by that same knife.
Which means, after the killer was finished stabbing Nagito's legs and left arm, they stabbed the knife through his right hand? And then, they finished him off with the spear. How cruel! Then, does that mean the killer went to the trouble of using two weapons, a knife and a spear? But they could have just killed him by stabbing him with the knife. Why did they need to use a spear at all? That is definitely strange. Was there a reason they had to use it? A reason they had to use the spear? Huh. Well, because the knife was in his hand, obviously. There's a cut on his upper left arm. His legs and right hand have stab wounds, but this wound looks like a slice. That's probably the reason the wound on his left arm doesn't look that deep compared to his other wounds. Well, regardless, it doesn't change the fact that it's a hideous wound and there's blood everywhere.
There's something strange.
Strange what?
Look at the palm of his left hand. I think the blood is from where his left arm was sliced, but doesn't the blood splatter look strange? It cuts off right in the middle of his palm.
Because he was holding the cord.
He fucking did it to himself.
I don't know! Why would he, though?
To fuck with the game.
I don't know.
He after he found the thing in the funhouse, he did start saying, like, now he wants to survive. So I don't think he would kill himself just to fuck with people.
Well, he was holding on to the spear thing.
Well,
maybe... We'll see, but we'll see once we zoom out again, but I feel like he wouldn't have killed himself.
Fair enough, but so far it seems like he was holding on to the wire.
Yeah, but it's entirely possible there's a different reason for that. Maybe he grabbed it to, like, try to fight off with or something.
Possible.
Yeah, it definitely cuts off. Maybe that's as far as the blood could reach when it splattered.
Well, that would explain the blood on his palm, but...
There's something else that's strange?
When you flip it over and look at the back of his hand, There's also blood, but only above the middle finger joint of each finger. Okay, that's weird.
Okay, yeah, I thought it was gonna be like all over his backhand.
Yeah, that would be like... Was he wearing a glove?
I think that's because of how of his curls.
No, the back of your hand is still free.
Okay, I'm
covered in stuff.
I'm holding something with my fist right now, and it could make sense if it... Okay, if you make a fist, then it does feel like the blood, if it came at you from the front, it would hit your fingers above the knuckles and the bottom and sides of your palm, but everything else would be covered up. Because I'm literally holding something right now to test this. The thumb is like at a different angle, but the thumb is weird. I feel like it probably didn't account for that.
I don't know.
Right. Why is it only on this part?
See, it's just as I said, right? It's strange, right? I win.
Yeah, sure. You win. What? The fuck was that about?
That was a dominance play.
But it's definitely strange. What did the killer do to make the blood splatter like this?
Is there anything else to check we didn't check?
I think his face, yeah, but I'm trying to... I don't know the reason for it, but it's possible that he was holding on to the weight. Or around that cord. So I don't know why I don't know why it would have gotten so far away from his hand.
What if it was draped over something?
Don't know. Well, I feel like that's probably it. Alright, let's look at his face now. He must have been in great pain. He clearly had this agonizing look on his face when he died. His mouth is covered with duct tape. Was this to keep Nagito from screaming for help? Jeez, what a horrible look on his face. The blood splattered all over it doesn't help either. It's a good thing his mouth is covered with duct tape, otherwise I wouldn't be able to look at him.
Got a minute? Sorry, excuse me.
Chiaki moved past Kazuichi and me and squatted down next to Nagito's face. And in one swift movement, she ripped the duct tape off of his mouth. Hey, what are you doing?
It'll be fine. I'll put it back right away once I'm done investigating here.
Putting the tape back isn't the issue, you ungrateful swine! You're gonna get cursed!
That was rude. The blood on Nagito's face. It looks like it mostly came from the slice on his left arm. If that's the case...
It's no use! She's not listening.
Hey, about the blood splattered on his face. There's no blood under the duct tape.
Is that supposed to be odd? What's wrong with that?
This duct tape has crinkles like it was sticking towards the inside of his mouth, right? Nagito was probably desperately moving his mouth under the duct tape.
Seriously, what's wrong with that? She means Nagito's mouth was covered with duct tape before he got those wounds all over his body. So he tried to shout, which caused the duct tape to get sucked into his mouth a bit. But what's wrong with that? Is that something we really need to worry about? I don't really get it, but just put the duct tape back on his mouth already.
Yeah, you're right.
Anyway, this might be some kind of clue too. I should remember it. Okay, that part I don't understand what the point of that is. Like, I feel like that makes sense. You would tape someone's mouth shut before you start stabbing them if you don't want them to scream. I guess I'm done with the area surrounding Nagito's body. Jeez, can't believe I actually investigated such a grisly-looking body. Even I'm surprised at myself. Does this mean I'm used to it? My classmate's dead body is right in front of me, and one of my peers is the killer responsible. Thankfully, by the way statistics work, there's a very good chance that it's someone voiced by Max. And I have to investigate his death so I can find his killer. Am I used to something as abnormal as that? That would mean I'm becoming abnormal too. What's the thing I was gonna... Yeah, I can't actually get a very good look at the weight at this angle, so that's fantastic. Alright. Looks like a bunch of plastic bottles. Remnants of plastic are scattered all over the place. This is probably... Yee! Those fire grenades that we used to put out the fire. Well, they
You
weren't...
attempted to use to put out the fire.
Well, they weren't actually that useful in the end. The fire was only extinguished thanks to the sprinklers. Well, nevertheless, this evidence really isn't all that strange. It's an oil lighter. This is where the curtains would have been hanging. It also looks like the fire did extensive damage here. If the oil lighter was placed here... Ah, an oil lighter. Someone probably wanted to keep warm. Sonia.
So,
It's a most foolish thought. This is clearly the cause of the fire. Okay.
okay. She had me going.
Oil lighters can continue to burn even after someone lets go of them. So using that, the curtain was set on fire. Using the oil lighter, huh? You think the killer set up some sort of trick with it? The killer probably planned to destroy evidence by setting this warehouse on fire. They caused a fire to destroy evidence? That's the only reason I can think of why a killer would set fire to their crime scene, but... Alright, what remains is talking to these people now. Left to right, let's go. Oh, I forgot Akane. I didn't see her. Not freaking out about it like Kazuichi, but I definitely can't stop thinking about it. When the Monokuma timer reaches 0 2 days from now, what's gonna happen? Huh? What's gonna happen? This rotten school trip is gonna end, right? We can finally go back home. Carefree till the end. Does that mean you don't think that'll happen? Monokuma might be planning to make us do something after the countdown ends. What do you mean, something? He's making us kill each other, you know. What could be worse than that? I don't know. This is Monokuma we're talking about, you know? There's no way this'll end smoothly with a countdown. Anyway, like you said before, if we screw up here, it's the end for us. For now, let's focus on the investigation. We'll think about the countdown after we live through the class trial. Yeah, I know. But don't bring up strange stuff like that. Alright, now that there we go. Akane.
It matters if Gundam's killing it for me comes. But it looks like it's different this time. It doesn't matter this time.
What doesn't matter?
The time. Looks like the time doesn't matter. It's clearly written in the Monokuma file. The time of death was noon sharp.
If it was at noon, what were we doing at that time? Screaming at fireworks.
What were we doing? Well, right now it's 12:30 p.m.
That is not what your clock says.
So it also has a clock function.
That means Nagita died 30 minutes ago. Huh? It happened that recently? He's totally a fresh kill.
Fresh seems like a bad way to describe it.
but
I'll tell you, you
accurate.
want fresh meat? It happened 30 minutes ago. Was it around the time we were struggling with the bombs?
You're right. Those fake bombs were originally supposed to explode at noon.
Which means whoever doesn't have an alibi for that time is Nagato's killer.
Which points it at Sonia, but because of the way this game works, that means it's not Sonia.
Problem is, the bombs went off before noon.
Yeah, they went off early.
Yeah, but we were all still, like, in that same general
Sonia
area
was
when
still
noon
there.
hit. What?
Sonia came in with the fireworks. When the fireworks went off before noon.
It's alright, everyone. I finished killing Nagito.
Yeah, and we were
What
all...
happened to noon shirt?
Yeah,
so
that's why I feel like this whole thing was set up and so that the killer would have an alibi. Which I guess means it could have been Sonia, but I genuinely don't know.
But this could also be like when Nakamura died. The killer could also use some kind of automatic setup.
Also, the crime looks very detailed, so they would have needed time to prepare.
Then whoever doesn't have an alibi before we found the bombs is suspicious. Like, none of us have an alibi for that time. That's why we all split up to search for the bombs.
Yeah, that's the problem. She looks like she's deep in thought while staring at the ceiling. What happened? Is there something strange about the ceiling?
Yeah, about that sprinkler.
That's one of the sprinkler heads that activated to put out the fire.
You can see a girder right next to it, right? There. Can you see that red streak?
Huh? That's pink, fool. You're right. I definitely see it. It looks like a small red line on the ceiling girder.
Is that blood?
Blood? The color definitely looks like blood. There's no way blood could get up there, right? Plus, it's in a straight line.
That's why I've been staring at it. I think it's strange.
It's definitely strange. I should remember this. Blood on the Girder is the name of my next death metal album. Now then, I guess that's enough investigating the area behind the curtain. The killer's goal wasn't just killing Nagito. There should have been another reason as well. If not, they wouldn't have gone to the trouble of tying him with rope and covering his mouth with duct tape. Not just that, there's no reason to inflict any wounds other than a fatal one. So what was the reason? Looks like I'd better investigate other areas to figure that out. Alright, I should try investigating the other areas inside this warehouse first. I'm gonna talk to Kazuichi and Sonia real quick. One of us killed Nagito in such a cruel way. It's too bizarre. I can't do anything except laugh. If only everyone could go home. Nothing would make me happier. No, we should finish the class trial, then we can think about what will happen after. Okay.
Look at all those Monokumas in a line.
It's like dominoes. There are a lot of tipped over Monokuma panels. The panel near the curtain in the back is tipped over and burned. Did fire do that? But why are they scattered like this? The last time I came here, I seem to recall... should have been neatly put away.
Dominoes. So that they were set off whenever we came in. Maybe we're the ones who made this mess.
Huh?
Look, the tipped over panel by the entrance is really close to the door, right? So maybe the reason these panels are tipped over is...
Open it slowly. opening it with a kick. To B? Was that it?
And there's something else I've been wondering. These Monokuma panels are tipped over starting from the entrance to the back of the warehouse, right? They seem to be just lying on top of each other in a straight line.
Yeah. Compared to the other tipped over panels, that line is the only one that's neat and orderly.
Isn't this clearly strange?
Strange. That means we could speculate this was done intentionally. So it was set up to become a domino effect, and based on where the lighter was, I feel like the domino effect would start the fire.
Mm-hmm.
This is an MP3 player. There's even a speaker plugged into it. Why is this here? It looks like that weird music was... Oh, it looks like that weird music was playing from there. You know, that oh, no, this was actually what I was saying. You know, that music that was blaring when the fire started. Yeah, you're right. Looks like it's busted from getting drenched by the sprinklers. There's no mistaking it. That music was playing from that MP3 player. I don't disagree with that, but why was the killer playing music from this? See, in the real world, the obvious answer would be to drown out any sounds that Nagito would have been making. But it's a game, we know there's going to be something more to it. There are a bunch of books stacked on top of each other. Apparently they contain Monokuma's poetry and photos. The sprinklers completely soaked them. Can't even turn the pages anymore. Well, it's not like I'm missing much. Also, yeah, there does not appear to be a Monokuma in here in terms of, like, ones we collect. Alright. Left to right, let's go. Oh, no, it's gonna be just the same stuff.
I think you hit... Okay.
Well, this is we backed out. Looks like Sonia's focused on investigating the warehouse. Which reminds me, there's something I needed to ask her about. Here we go! Now that we've pretty much finished investigating Nagito's body, I think it's time to talk to her. Hey Sonia, do you have a minute? Yes? What is it? I want to talk to you about when that fake bomb Nagito set in the warehouse exploded. Huh? Right before it exploded, you said something like this, right? Flashback. It's not a bomb! Why did you know the bombs were a fake? Well... It's not all, either. When we were looking for the bombs, why were you at the military base? I thought you were supposed to be searching the central island. Plus, when I called for you, you didn't come to the factory right away. Where were you, and what were you doing during that time? Oh my. Do you suspect me? It is a misunderstanding. I am not the killer. Jesus! Shit! You son of a bitch!
Is she blushing? Why is she blushing?
She's also crying. Sonia? I am terribly sorry. I was panicking that you would find out I was the killer. I shall calm down and explain to you why I was at the military base. When I first explored the final island, I discovered a vast amount of bombs there. Huh? At first, I was worried that someone might use them for nefarious reasons if I announced it to everyone. So I kept silent the whole time. Does that mean, when you heard Nagito planted bombs, you got suspicious and went to investigate them? And as I suspected, the bombs had disappeared. I thoroughly searched for them inside the military base, but the bombs were nowhere to be found. And because you were searching for them, you were late when we all gathered? And because of that, I reached a conclusion. The bombs Nagito brought were from the military base, which means they were fake bombs. How did you find out that the bombs at the military base were fake? Because I attempted to use one of them.
What?
Rhino, you keeping up with this?
Yeah.
What? I thought one of the bombs would be strong enough to blast open the door to the ancient ruin. Okay. At the time, I still believed the bombs were real, and I thought that I could use one of them to gain entrance to the ancient ruin.
Hey, what's Bonami doing there?
However, that plan was an utter failure. Bomb was not real. It was merely a fireworks display. God damn it all to hell! I see. So that's why you're the only one who knew the bombs at the military base were fake. I did, as did Monami as well. She was also secretly peeking at the bomb. She's not very good at hiding. If those bombs are the same ones that disappeared, it would mean Nagito took them. That is why I knew it was a fake. However, I did think it was strange when Nagito blew up the hotel lobby. Kazuichi goes flying! That bomb was real and I could not stop thinking about it. But upon further reflection, that might have been Nagito's plan all along. He showed us a real bomb to make us believe that the bombs he said were real as well. If so, then Nagito's actions were extremely calculated. The problem is his reason for doing it. With this, I have explained everything. There should be no more reason for you to doubt me. You're right, I got it. Alright, I've pretty much finished looking for clues inside the warehouse. I was able to find some clues, but there are still so many things I don't understand yet.
You look worried.
Yeah, I am.
At a time like this, it might be good if you broaden your investigation range.
You mean it's good to investigate other places as well? She might be right. There are several things I've been wondering about besides the crime scene. The military base that Sonia mentioned, the plushie factory next door, Nezumi Castle where the spear originally came from, and Nagito's room, too. If I'm going to understand the reason for his actions, I need to know more about him.
You think it's in Nagito's room?
I'm pretty sure the others have already finished investigating. Hey guys, isn't it about time we leave this place and try exploring other areas too?
In response to Chiaki, the others gathered around her. I agree. I was just thinking about proceeding to another area. It seems we had the same idea. Is it safe? There won't be anyone to guard the crime scene.
We don't have a choice. There just aren't enough of us. Besides, we've investigated all we can here.
Well, I guess you're right.
Also, it looks like the clues we found aren't enough to piece this incident together. So we need to search for them in other areas, probably. Well, alternatively, if there aren't any clues in other areas either, we'd give up completely.
You don't really need to say that.
And it's okay if we leave this place? It's okay.
There's no time for us to stand around. In order to survive, there's no other way except to do it. In order to survive, we need to find Nagito's killer. If we don't sacrifice that person, nobody can survive. That's our reality. That's why there's no time for us to stand around.